Hello to all the comic fans, Marvel geeks, and all the nerds in between. Today we are going to break down the 6th episode of What If Season 3. And when I say we, I mean myself, Megan Nicole from Vigilante Vibes, and LJ and Wen from Bleeding Rainbow Comics. You guys say hello. Say hello.
I didn't know that was our cue. Hello. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining, Wen.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. I arose from the death and here in health now.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas miracle. So the 6th episode titled What If 1872, which the title makes no sense to me, but that's okay, was an exciting Western thrill ride that we can't wait to get into with you. What were your guys' first thoughts?
I actually liked it. I didn't think, before I realized that this was the episode that focused around Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop, I didn't think I would like it because I don't like a lot of the throwbacky episodes. But I did like it because of what they did with it. I really like Shang-Chi, I really like Kate Bishop, and I really like them teamed together, which we'll probably never get in MCU proper. So I'm glad that this was a good use of What If for me.
I agree.
As somebody who used to be forced to watch Westerns with their grandfather as a child, I hated it.
Is it the trauma talking or?
But you like Star Wars, which is just space Western.
Yeah, well, he didn't force me to watch that. I don't know. There's just I don't like the episodes that have to give so much exposition before we get into the story. And it just felt like we had to hear this long drawn out story of like, oh, we're in the West and this happened to him, this happened to him, that's why we're here now. It's like, what if it's supposed to be like one little change?
I partially agree with you because, as you know, if you were alive on any of the other episodes, we already talked about this. How What If seems to work best when it's what if this situation went differently and here is the chaos that came from that, or here's the outcome. And I agree, that's how What If works best for me. I actually didn't think that there was nearly as much exposition this episode as some of the other episodes.
I mean, true.
So for me it worked because it was drastically different, and we have had some throwback episodes in previous What If seasons. So, I mean, it wasn't too much for me. They did a good summary. Let's get into the action. And then I think it did help that immediately we got into, okay, now they're just going to beat down a bunch of people and you're going to get to see their powers. So I think that kind of softened the blow of having to do exposition. Because it was like, all right, here's 30 seconds of boring, but now here's Haley Steinfeld shooting up a bunch of people.
That's true.
Which, reimagining her from an archer to a shooter, I liked that. I thought that was creative.
Loved that. I really loved that. And it was her dad's gun. Is that what they said? I do agree with Wen. Her mom's gun. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I do agree with Wen that it's such a big idea. It doesn't really feel like What If, because it is supposed to be like, what if Red Guardian stopped Winter Soldier? That feels What If to me. But this was more like, here's just a whole new scenario. There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The What If seems to work best if it's what if this happened instead.
Yeah, like what if Tony Stark was born broke? That's one I'd like to see.
Exactly. Well, it works because we already know the stories of Marvel. Like,
so we don't need any exposition.
You don't need exposition if it's just like one thing changed, like Tony Stark was broke. Okay, we know who Tony Stark is. We know the story of Iron Man, so let's see how he made it being broke.
I did like Uatu was more in this episode when we got to see the 3 other Watchers, and so now I'm feeling like, okay, we're cooking. Let's see where they're going with this.
Exactly.
So we're close to being able to see if our ratings were warranted or not.
Very true. So for those who have or haven't seen the episode, I'll give you some information as to what the hell we're talking about. Shang-Chi, a.k.a. the 10 Rings, which I thought the 10 Rings thing was cute. I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. And his partner, Kate Bishop, a.k.a. Hawkeye, take down a posse led by John Walker in 1872 because we need any more reasons to dislike John Walker.
I'm sure
John
Thunderbolts will give you plenty.
I can't wait. He's someone I love to hate. I can't wait. John Walker points the duo to Point Pegasus as they seek to bring the Hood to justice. The Watcher reveals that Shang-Chi's sister immigrated to the United States only to find her fellow Chinese immigrants oppressed by the crime lord known as the Hood. Zhu Zheling disappeared going after the Hood, which motivated Shang-Chi to hunt him down along with Kate Bishop, who lost her parents to the crime lord as well. So we're all very sad orphans. Allegedly. The Ten Rings and Hawkeye find a young boy named Jun Fan, whose entire town was abducted by the Hood on a ghost train. The ghost train is revealed to be a trackless hovering train designed by Tony Stark, full of munitions, and the abducted immigrants who are all in a hypnotic trance of some sort, which was creepy. Sonny Birch and a full posse are on board, confirmed to be in leagues with the Hood. Birch agrees to take Ten Rings and Hawkeye to the crime lord. The Hood is revealed to be Shang-Chi's sister, who killed the original crime lord and took his mantle, building an army to strike back and liberate the Wild West. Sonny reveals himself as one of the ones that killed Kate's parents as he locks her in the same hypnotic trance, having stolen their fortune to fund the Hood's army. Jun Fan rings a bell 10 times, breaking the trance, which allows Hawkeye to defeat Birch. Shang-Chi refuses to fight with his sister, forcing Hawkeye to kill the newly corrupted Hood when she tries to kill him. After helping the Chinese immigrants resettle, the Ten Rings and Hawkeye ride off into the sunset, looking for more dangers and more people to help. The Watcher is captured by the Eminence, the Executioner, and the Incarnate to pay for his frequent interventions and breaking his oath. So there you go.
Now, I'm glad about what they did with Shang-Chi's sister, but I'm also, at the beginning of this episode, I thought that we would get to see some, what's his name? Anthony Ramos.
The Hood?
That's playing the Hood. Yeah. So I was like, oh, we're building that character up. We're building up all of the Ironheart characters. And then in the opening scroll of all of their names, I was like, okay, so he's not in this episode. Did we get somebody else to voice him? And so I kind of knew something was up, but I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to see the Hood. Because what if Shang-Chi's sister is a cooler the Hood?
I started the episode and I was like, ain't no way we're about to see the Hood. And I was like, here we go. And then we didn't see the Hood. And I was like, man, screw Shang-Chi's sister. I don't care about her. I'm glad she died.
Maybe this is her justice for her post-credit scene that we'll probably never see anything for.
Oh my God, you're right. Stupid. But I liked what they did with Kate Bishop. It was nice to see Kate Bishop not fangirling like she did all in Hawkeye, which was my biggest gripe in the show. It was like, calm down, girl. You're at his level too. You're fine.
That is Kate Bishop, though. She's a fangirl.
But I mean, in the comics, I wouldn't say she was that much. I'd say she had a little more confidence in herself. But in that one, it was like, I want to see how good she is. I don't want to see her asking for autographs.
But no, I like what they did with her. I like what they did with Shang-Chi. The Ten Rings was corny.
I liked it.
But in true MCU fashion, we couldn't have more Marvel content without them having a kid somehow.
I did like a callback to him of what's not, I guess it's not a callback, but where they called him Iron Fist.
Yeah,
at the very end.
That and Fist of Fury.
Yeah,
that's when I was like, man, this would be a hell of a time to spill the next name of the Shang-Chi movie. Shang-Chi 2. I was like, that could be it. But then I was like, nah, they took away the Hood. They're not giving me nothing today.
Well, and who knows, we're going to get that because isn't Destin Daniel Cretton the person that does the Shang-Chi movies directing the next Spider-Man movie now?
I believe so. I don't know if he's confirmed to be doing the next Shang-Chi movie, because the most we've really gotten is from Simu Liu, who says, yes, it's happening. I promise it's happening. And we're like, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
It's happening just in 10 years.
Yeah, it's going to be like, my son has taken the mantle of the 10 Rings. You're like, that's not what we wanted. We wanted the sexy Simu Liu doing it.
Stop having all of these people age out of their roles.
Young Avengers, just regularly aged Avengers.
I was about to say, they're going to be like 40 by the time we get to that.
I liked
be
this
like 40 at
episode.
least.
Wen does not age, first of all. He's going to be young forever. I think. I don't know. I haven't known you guys that long. So I don't know. I liked this episode. I like Westerns. I grew up watching the Chuck Norris Texas Walker Ranger. Is that what your grandfather made you watch?
No, I had to watch like Gunsmoke, which is like black and white Western, cheesy.
Gross.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get into as a child.
Yeah.
See, and I've just never been into Westerns, no matter what. Nobody's like force-fed them to me, but they've never been my thing.
It's a required taste. Very required taste. It's very hard. You have to have some mind-numbing done to you at one point to like sit back and enjoy it, because there's shooting and then there's just, well, cock-a-doodle-doo. I don't know. There's nothing really much else to it.
Yeah, I'm not really one for Americana stories. Which means that this episode must have been good, because I actually liked it, and it's Americana. So
yeah, it was interesting seeing John Walker. John Walker was pretty random to me.
Yeah, it was all just a very random episode to me. I don't know.
I feel like you could have replaced John Walker with anybody, and the episode would have been no different.
I feel like we peaked in the last two episodes, and now we're going just slightly down.
Leave Kate Bishop alone. We're not downsloping. We're just getting ready for the final, The Watcher, whatever.
Dude, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I like that they're kind of... I do and I don't like that they're kind of like getting out of the little bit of what if and to more of a current thing. Like, okay, so the Watcher's going through some stuff right now with the other Watchers. And it's like, well, that's great, but it's not what if. And one of those episodes are called What If, and where the hell is Storm?
Right?
Well, you got like a 50-50 shot of guessing which episode she's in.
She has to be in the next one. It's got to be the next one, because the last one's going to be just wrapping up the show.
The next one
what if she's the new Watcher?
What if the Watcher disappeared? But she's the new Thor.
Storm can be whoever she wants.
I mean, well, we did see when he was captured, like the multiverse glass going back toward that universe. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll get her in the next one, and that'll be our segue into, I don't know.
It's weird because I feel like we're still supposed to get more of Captain America and Monica Rambeau per the trailers. And then is Birdie not going to be a thing anymore? Or was it just that one episode?
Birdie's going to be a thing. We see her all grown up with Captain Carter and Cohorty. So I think that sequence is from when everybody comes together, which I kind of picture the next two episodes as like a two-parter. Because we know that the next one has to do with the Watcher, and the last one I'm assuming would also. So if we're going to the Watcher's story as the main focus for the next episode, I can't see us really backtracking for the last one.
Yeah.
I bet they all come together to save the Watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels Marvel-y. Feels What If.
Yeah. It is weird we haven't gotten Cohorty or Carter. Yeah.
I just know it's going to be like a flash of Cohorty. It's not going to be much of her.
Yeah.
I just know it.
Plot twist, the whole next two episodes focus around her.
Don't even tease me, because I love her. Her comic is great. I want to see so much more of her. Yeah.
Yeah, it is good.
She's a good character.
After I saw your review for the comic book, I went and picked up the comic book. It was good.
You did?
Yes,
I don't think they're going to continue that run, but I think she'll show up in everyone else's comics, which is a good way to get people used to a new character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be... I could foresee her being a reoccurring character in other books.
As she should be. She's pretty OP, which is really perfect for the characters that she showed up with in her comic. We're not even talking about the episode anymore. So I'm excited for tomorrow's episode since we know literally nothing about it. Just that the Watcher is in some trouble. So,
and we already saw that happen.
Yeah.
So
I feel bad
there's
for
gonna be something
him.
with that.
All new content.
There'll be something up with that glass shard. They wouldn't have focused on it if it wasn't.
True.
That's what's summoning Captain Carter.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, this is multiverse glass.
We don't need Captain Carter, first of all. Like, calm down. We have enough characters.
Listen,
Stick to
she's
yourself.
the main character of What If. We need her a little bit.
She shouldn't be, though. Like,
We
what
need a
if she
thread.
doesn't...
She's the thread.
So, we usually end these episodes with giving our grade. When, out of 10, what would you give it? Don't let LJ bully you into it. I can see him looking at you already.
I'm going to give it a 4.5 because it wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't great for me. So
Let me add that here. All right.
We're keeping tabs of what all of our scores are for the episodes. So you'll have 3 episodes of data.
Yeah, or we could go back and have his. LJ, what is yours?
Well, your score is bullshit. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Wow. You've been very consistent about the 8s and 7s. I like that.
Other than that first episode, this has been a pretty good season.
We're so
It's just,
mad about that
we
first.
started, yeah, we just started really not strong. But if you power through to the second episode, you're going up. What's yours?
Shoot, I really liked it. I'd say a 9 just because, but I'm going to say 8.7 because there's some things I don't understand, like why did Tony Stark make something for this ghost train?
Right?
It just felt kind of cheap, a cheap way to be like,
It felt weird having that in there without actually showing Tony Stark. Because I'm like, how does he exist in this era?
I also love no matter what era it is, his tech always looks the exact same.
I know.
Yeah.
Like it's always hovering. It's always something.
Since it was the Hood's train, I thought originally that it was going to be magic. And they could have just done that.
Yep, no. They had to throw Tony Stark in there. And it's funny to me that was my first thought is no matter what era, his tech always is the same.
But I do wish we got a little bit more magic in this episode since, the Hood. But since we didn't even get the Hood in this episode, that's why mine was 7.5 and not higher. Because I would have preferred to actually see the Hood. Story-wise, I understand why they did what they did, but you can't tease a new character and then not give us the new character whatsoever.
Yeah, like, I don't care about his sister. Like, we don't
Sorry,
need
I don't.
that. They're not a package deal.
Yeah.
They don't have to be together all the time.
No, Shang-Chi and Katie are a package deal. Why wasn't she in this
We
episode?
needed Katie.
We needed Aquafina back.
Why wasn't Katie in this episode? She could have been their guy in the chair.
Yeah.
I would have preferred her instead of the little kid.
Yeah, that kid was just doing little karate chops all over the place. It's like, come on, man. This is the big leagues.
Well, everybody in this episode knew how to fight. So you could add, because Marvel loves humor, you could have had Kate Bishop and Shang-Chi super fighting, and then Katie being like, okay, well, I'm going to go sit over here. Let me know when you're done.
She would just be the comedic relief. Team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I guess you don't need comedic relief when you already have Kate Bishop, but,
She was in this, though.
She was very serious in this one. I dug that.
To do.
Yeah.
She's there to, what is the saying?
It's still fun.
Kick names and take asses. But I will say, Shang-Chi, they kept it very consistent because Shang-Chi, I think, has the best fight scenes. And I'd say this episode had the best fight scenes of the whole show so far.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think that, again, that's why the exposition didn't sting as much on this one, because it immediately went into them fighting.
True.
So you were instantly rewarded for sitting through the exposition.
All right. Well, that's our review. Stick around for tomorrow when we review the next episode, which is number 7 of What If Season 3. Wherever you're watching this or listening to this episode, be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our reviews or all the exciting content in between. LJ, Wen, where can our listeners find you?
You can find us on YouTube and Facebook if you search up Bleeding Rainbow Comics. Wherever you see comic book stuff with a rainbow on it, that's probably us.
It's very true. Can confirm. And you can find me everywhere by searching Vigilante Vibes Podcast, or to make it easy, you can just check out my website, vigilantevibes.com. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow, and have a marvelous day.
Bye.